Howdy, folks. My name is Alex, otherwise known as Fear the Z, and welcome to episode 68 of the Turner's Digest. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. I'm not a financial or tax advisor. This is not financial or tax advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but please enjoy. And I say as always, even though in my first time welcome to season 4, by the way, since 2026. I just do seasons by the year. So, welcome to season 4. Last episode, I didn't say the disclaimer verbally, which, listening back, it sounds weird because I've done it every single time for, years going. But I didn't last time, so, whoops. But the disclaimer is always true. Housekeeping, as always, if you want to support the Patreon, patreon.com/Turner's Digest. Starts as little as $1. Shout out to my brother's band, Heavy Lemon, courtesy intro music, as well as some new songs. Just saw them perform at a venue in Manhattan, as well as one in the border in New York and New Jersey. It was pretty good. Their new singer sounds great. Apparently they have new music going to be dropping at some point, so I'll share that when that comes out. Also, I just wanted to call out that if you're a member of the Patreon, you have access to the show notes. So I have a big growing list of every show note for Turner's Digest that I've ever done, just a long Google Doc. And what happens behind the scenes of these podcast episodes is I just populate the Google Doc as the week goes on with things I see on Reddit, things that are happening to me, or things that I see in Doctor Credit that I know I want to cover during the episode. And instead of having one large show note creating session, I just sporadically do it throughout the week. Multiple times throughout the day, I'm checking things and putting it on the show notes. So if something I think is very time sensitive, I'll send a lightning deal, which we have a few for this week or for this past month. But if you just wanted to see what's the most recent stuff, you can just check on the show notes on Google Docs. Additionally, this episode we'll be talking about cards, and then we're going into deals, and then bonuses, and then class actions, and then another category. And then since 2025 is over, I'm going to do a bit of a 2025 review, both in my churning numbers as well as looking at the podcast and review. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, definitely stick around to the end. But we'll start with our normal programming, and then at the end, we'll jump to some retrospective and some look back. So first in the cards category, Bank of America Sonesta card is to be discontinued, reported by Dr. Credit. Program officially ends on February 12th, 2026. Annual fee will be refunded if you were charged one from March 2025 to November 2025. If yours is due December 2025 to February of 2026, you won't be charged one. The anniversary bonus, which is normally 30,000 points after 10,000 spend, can still be met, and the required spend has been reduced to 3,750. So to help because the card's ending soon, or the card's ending early. If you want to change the card before it changes to Bank of America Unlimited Cash Rewards with their product changes to it, you'll lose the anniversary bonus even if you have hit the spend requirements. So keep that in mind. And the card will automatically be converted to the Unlimited Cash Rewards. Card numbers won't change, and you can continue to use your existing card until the new one arrives. Unlimited Cash earns 1.5% cash back on all purchases and is affected by the preferred rewards status with Bank of America. I never had this card. Really wasn't too aware of it, to be honest. Looking at it, had a 125,000 point bonus in the past. Honestly, I'm not even sure what it's for. What is Sonesta to begin with? I think it's some kind of a hotel, like Sonesta Hotels. It had a $75 annual fee, 3 times points on Sonesta purchases, 2x on airfare and car rentals and dining purchases, and 1x on everything else. And a Sonesta Travel Pass Gold. Curious to see if they're starting a new partnership or they're just ending the existing relationship. Next, in Bank of America world, there was a very short-lived pre-approval tool that Bank of America had 22 days ago, back on, what day is that? December 10th. It was showing on a few different applications, specifically the Customized Cash Rewards saw it. And I think the Atmos card is still showing it. It was first reported by Cleed, so shout out Cleed. Oh, also, sorry, I forgot to do the shout-outs for the Cleed tier. Shout out Kung Fuer, Cleed, Dion, Erica, Shu Hui, Daniel, Ricky, Rob, John, Desi, and Stan. Sorry for that. I guess I'm getting rusty. Anyway, shout out Cleed for his calling this out, and then it was posted on Art Churning, so I figured I'd cover it. It looked like it was decent, and it's still available on some cards. So I like pre-approvals. I mean, it's nice for me because I am like applying like crazy, so I'd like to know before. But except I'm taking some time off for applications, and we'll talk about it at the end of the episode in the other section. And then finally, just with Bank of America, I wanted to call out that a lot of people, at least on our churning, seem to like the Fidelity card because you can redeem your cash back into your Fidelity account and you can like immediately invest it. Well, I just wanted to call out that Bank of America has this too. If you have a Merrill Lynch brokerage account and you have some of the cashback cards like custom cashback or the unlimited cashback cards or the travel cards, I think. Ones that are cashback and not points. I think travel cards points. But those you can redeem directly into your Merrill account, and then you can buy stock as you see fit. Next, the Cardless Qatar card has a sign-up bonus for up to 100,000 miles. It's available again, although Signature card has been reduced to 65,000 instead of 70. That's the annual free one. Boosted earning rates on restaurants until February 4th as well. This is for existing cardholders too. Earn boosted restaurant earnings through February 4th from 2x per $1 up to 4x per dollar for the Signature card, and 4x per dollar up to 6x per dollar for the Infinite card. So if you're in the sphere to get a new card, you can give Cardless a try. Their application rules seem pretty lax. They kind of will give a lot of people credit, even if you have a lot of recent inquiries. I know I got approved for the Coinbase card, which is with Cardless, and my portfolio is pretty recent heavy. Next, there's some changes to Robinhood Gold rewards program, specifically calling out that U.S. mint coins and currency-like collectibles are now excluded from rewards. This isn't surprising. They're trying to be super restrictive on what can earn 3% because it's a loss leader for sure, and 3% is a lot, so they want to make sure you're doing actual spend on the card, not MS. So I don't see them stopping, and they're just going to continue to make updates and updates. Also, additionally, with Robinhood and some stuff that came out for Lightning deals. For the holidays, Robinhood did a sort of advent calendar from December 26th until December 31st, so it's now expired, but it was a Lightning deal. It was similar to, I forget when they did it, but you had to log in to the Robinhood app at a particular time and have the screen open at that time to be eligible, and then you'd be entered into a raffle. They did it before, and I can't remember what it was for. But this time they gave away a bunch of things, including like each day they gave away a lump sum of crypto that would be split amongst the people that are taking part. It started off with 500,000 Doge, then went to 750 Bitcoin, then 850 Ethereum, then 1 million Solana, then 1 million XRP, then 1.5 million Bitcoin. And those are all dollars, not amount of Bitcoin or amount of XRP. And it came out to like $2 or $3 a day, but still, it's nice to get free stuff. The first and fifth days were not Robinhood Gold required, but the rest were. So if you had Robinhood Gold, you can get some free monies. Sorry, updating show notes. They also gave away some other prizes. Like the first day, they gave away 5 Rolexes. Second day, they gave away 5, I think, trips to like maybe Mexico. Third day, they gave away 10, I think, Samsung frame TVs, and they also gave some smaller gifts away on those previous days as well. The fourth day, I don't know what it was, but Robinhood has to disclose what the ARV, it's like average return value, would be for the winnings, just because it's a giveaway and that's how legally you have to do it. So they said what the total price of each of the gift was. So I don't have the exact gift written down, but Dr. of Credit just copied the terms from Robinhood's terms and conditions for the promotion, and they gave a bunch of stuff away. So if you won something, I'd be curious to see what happens. I was reading the terms that if someone who won one of the big prizes doesn't claim it, I think it then gets entered back into the pool of people who were eligible to claim it. And if it goes through that process twice, so it goes through 3 people and all of them aren't eligible, the gift is considered void, which is kind of scummy. Like, just find someone to give it to. Don't just make it void. But it's nice to get free stuff and makes Robinhood Gold a little bit more worth it. And it's January 1st as of day of recording, so you can load up your IRA and get your 3% match with Robinhood or 3.5% match with Webull, whoever you're with. But I obviously didn't take part in this because I'm still banned on Robinhood. Next, the quarterly 5% categories is here for Q1 of 2026. And they are Chase Freedom is dining, Norwegian Cruise Lines, I believe, and Heart Charity. This is useful if you have a Chase Freedom Flex, specifically the new MasterCard, because that card earns 3% cash back on dining as a base, and then this as a quarterly category makes it 7% back or 7x back, because you get 1% as the base rate, 2% as an additional 2% as the dining rate, and an additional 4% as the boost rate. You don't get an additional 1 for each of those, so it comes out to 7, which is nice. It'll be my restaurant card for the next quarter. Next, Discover is grocery wholesale streaming. Wholesale is disappointing because Costco doesn't take Discover. I don't even think they take it online anymore. They used to, but they no longer take it. And then City Dividend is Amazon and streaming, US Bank Cash Plus, or the Elon cards, Elon Cash, Max Cash Preferred, Elon Max Cash Preferred, I think is what it's called. Those categories remain the same. You don't have to choose for Elon, but you do have to choose for US Bank. US Bank Shopper are still the same categories. Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards, those will carry as well, same categories. Others, the Nesunda FCU, Dr. Credit doesn't have it here just yet. Langley FCU also doesn't list what it is yet, but I think the categories are remaining the same. Huntington Business Voice also have to choose, hasn't changed. The only thing that's got added here was Redstone Federal Credit Union is now doing a 5% category of your choice with $1,500 per quarter. This quarter is automatically set for everybody to restaurants, and starting next quarter, you have to choose. If you don't choose, you don't get a category. So it doesn't carry like the Elon Max Cash Preferred cards, which is disappointing. My guess is the reason why everyone's locked into dining is because they haven't implemented this yet. Going into my portal, my web portal, I don't see any way of assigning a category or anything. It doesn't even mention anything in the cards. So my guess is just going to take some time to get there. Next, we'll jump over to the world of SoFi. SoFi launched a Smart Card Unlimited, which is a unlimited 5% cash back on groceries, but it requires a $10 per month SoFi Plus subscription. So the card earns unlimited 5% cash back on grocery stores, has no annual fee, but requires SoFi Plus membership, which costs $10 a month, and there's no longer a free option. So that's also an update here. So effectively, it's like a $120 annual fee. I guess there's no rewards on non-grocery spend, but not clear entirely. Update, other users are saying there's 1% base earn for non-category spend, but you can't find that anywhere on the terms. And Dev Credit also calls out this is different from the SoFi card, which earns 2% or 2.2% everywhere. So additionally, as I just mentioned, SoFi Plus now requires a $10 per month subscription. Previously, you were able to get it for free. I believe it was with a direct deposit, yes. Dutch Credit reports, until now it's possible to get the Plus subscription with free direct deposit. However, it seems they're doing away with this option now in favor of charging everyone $10 per month with no exception. Fine print does note that a temporary extension of sorts on the free SoFi Plus membership between December 9th of 25 and March 30th of 26, members with eligible direct deposit or qualifying deposits will receive complimentary access to SoFi Plus. This means that the old SoFi card, which now will be 2% instead of 2.2%, if you don't want to pay the fee. So previously, if you had SoFi Plus, you got an extra 10% boost to your rewards, which brought your 2% card to a 2.2% card. And now that there's a fee, it's gone now, which is disappointing. It's always just bait and switch with these cards. Just very disappointing to see. Additionally, with SoFi, I received an email, I think towards the end of November, saying that my SoFi card would be closed because due to 9 months of inactivity. And I just never got around to putting a charge on it and didn't really care, so they closed my card. Not upset about that, to be honest. Didn't use the card. It's fine. Little known fact, your closed cards remain on your credit profile for 10 years and still affect your overall age of accounts as well as your utilization. I believe the balance is still reported on there too, like the total available credit. So it doesn't have as big of a impact as many people think. Normally the recommendation is if you have no fee, just don't cancel and just keep the card open. But I just let it close and I didn't really care. Next, into American Express world or Amex world. American Express, in partnership with Delta, was allowing Delta American Express card members to redeem 100 Delta miles for a backpack. Now, I don't have a Delta card, but hey, I would have gotten a free backpack for 100 Delta miles. Why not? And that's, I think, worth like $1 because it's about 1 cent per point with Delta. And then also with American Express, I received a upgrade offer for my Blue Cash every day to go to a Blue Cash Preferred. And I already opened a Blue Cash Preferred, got the sign-on bonus, and then downgraded to Blue Cash every day. And then a few months later, they then sent me this targeted, it's like an offer in the app under offers, saying, hey, if you upgrade, no annual fee for the first year, and get $150 statement credit when you spend $1,000. So I was like, yeah, why not? So I'll meet that spend and then downgrade again when the fee comes. So why not? And then finally, sort of in American Express news, the news of Saks going bankrupt. So Saks Fifth Avenue has partnership with American Express Platinum to get $50 biannual statement credit for purchases made at Saks. And people just liquidate that with like Amazon gift cards in store. But that's might be going away now that Saks is potentially going bankrupt. Apparently they missed like a debt obligation, like a debt payment, according to, I think, Wall Street Journal. So we'll see what happens there. Next, in the world of Chase, we have a good chunk here. Chase Freedom Unlimited now has a $300 bonus and is available via referrals. So if you are looking for a new card and $300 sounds good to you, you can go for the Chase Freedom Unlimited. I don't think I've ever organically opened this card, so that was really scraping the bottom of the barrel, and I was somehow 524, and I somehow wanted to waste one of those slots on a Chase Freedom. I can go for it, but figured I'd call it out. Not super interesting to me. It's spend $500 within 3 months and get $300. I think it's kind of as high as it goes. It's either $200 with the 5% gas or 5% groceries for a year, or $250. So $300 I think is the highest we've seen just raw on the card. Next, so on our credit cards, but also reported by Dr. Credit, that the Chase Ritz-Carlton card is to restrict guest lounge access starting in 2026. Chase sent out an email. Changes go into effect on January 15th, 2026. Starting January 15th, this is from the email, the Ritz-Carlton credit card members and authorized users may enter Chase Sapphire lounges by the club and Priority Pass lounges with up to 2 guests each for no charge. Any additional guests will cost $27 each. To access the lounge, card members must present their valid physical card or Priority Pass digital membership card. Currently, there's no limit to the number of guests you can bring in for free, although some lounges have to limit the amount of guests you can bring in. It'll be interesting to see if Chase starts charging for authorized users on this card as well or not. So this card's kind of like a dead zone in terms of like getting downgraded for their guest access. It's just kind of had unlimited guest access for Priority Pass, and I think for the Chase Sapphire Lounge too. And it's finally getting impacted. I believe that my Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite card also has unlimited guests and still includes restaurants. So that's still my unsung hero for Priority Pass. And someone recently, on a comment I made on Reddit, responded. I was talking about the podcast, and I said, like, sponsored by Stephanie's at Logan, and that's definitely true. I love going to Stephanie's in Logan. But it's sad to see things like this go away. I think it's a good thing that it no longer has just a blanket unlimited guests, because it's kind of crazy. I know a lot of people complain about, like, overcrowding at lounges, and I personally haven't had too big of an issue. I know I've had to wait, like, 30 minutes to get into the Chase Sapphire Lounge in Logan, but I think that's fine. I always get there like early anyway, and I intentionally spend time at the airport to go to the lounges and get some free stuff. So I'm not upset by it, to be honest. Next, the Chase Sapphire Reserve has pay yourself back categories. It's at 1.5% for quarter of 1 of 2026. The new list is gas stations at 1.25%. Fitness clubs and gym memberships at 1.25%, annual fee at 1.25%, and then select charities at 1.5%. Big downgrade with the loss of grocery stores this quarter. You can see the previous quarters here. Previously, it was groceries at 1.25%, gas stations 1.25%, department stores 1.25%, annual fee 1.25%, and select charities 1.5%. I remember when the Chase Freedom used to have access to that too, and I think I used that a little bit back in the day, and that's no longer there. This was like during COVID. It's kind of a while ago. Next, also in Chase Sapphire world, you can get Calm subscription for free. So it's like a sleep meditation app. You can also stack it with offers through Top Cash Back for like $10 off. Some people in the comments are reporting that it's not stacking with Top Cash Back, but some people are reporting that Capital One Shopping is tracking. So you can go through Capital One Shopping, activate the offer for like $10, charge a Chase Sapphire Reserve, and get 100% cash back on the purchase. And then you're really getting paid to use it because you can get some shopping portal as well. And that's like a $699 value per year. I don't know if it's that useful, but hey, you got it. Why not? Next, Chase Sapphire Reserve enhances the $500 the edit credit to add one-time $250 hotel credit. This is a repost from Dr. Credit just because it's January 1st, 2026, as a reminder about these add-ons to the one-time $250 hotel credit. So I'm not going to dive into it too deep, but if you have the card, definitely know your benefits. And then next, there was sort of some kind of drama with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, specifically the 2 cents per point value for all the edit properties. So there was a post by user Grant WWU on Chase Sapphire where they called out that Chase has changed the language on the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. So originally it said, if you have a Chase Sapphire Reserve card and you use your points are worth 2x when you book a hotel that's part of the edit, and up to 2x when redeeming for both thousands of other top booked hotels and flights with select airlines through Chase Travel. And now today it says, if you have a Chase Sapphire Reserve card and you use your points are worth up to 2x when you book a hotel that's part of the edit, and up to 2x when redeeming for other top booked hotels and flights with select airlines through Chase Travel. So they slyly went and changed the verbiage to your points are worth 2x to your points are up to 2x for the edit. And Chase has got wind of this, and they made an announcement on Chase Sapphire Portal. This is specifically from Chase. It says, some of our Chase Travel content marketing the 2x bonus promotion for the edit remained in market longer than intended. We will proactively honor 2x points value for any customers who booked a stay at a property in the edit through December 22nd, 2025. Customers will see the bonus points adjusted in the Ultimate Rewards balance. As a reminder, the terms outlining the points boost program are available here. This comment obviously got downvoted, 70 downvotes on our Chase Sapphire, and people are calling out that this doesn't address the fact that it originally said 2x and now it's changing to up to 2x. And people are saying this is very deceptive. Nothing about the verbiage in the original article indicates it was a temporary promo. What a bad business practice. So, banks are never in it to make you have a good time. They really want to pad their pockets, but give you enough to make you want to stick with them and make it worth it. So this is just another one of those cases where they're gutting stuff that used to be there and they don't really care. Next, there are reports of a $400 retention offer on the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, reported with Dr. Credit. Recently, the Chase Sapphire Reserve increased its annual fee to $7.95. It hasn't been well received, especially with the American Express Platinum revamp, which I agree, the Amex Plat revamp is better than the Chase Sapphire Reserve. It has more value prop, at least in my opinion. It seems like Chase is feeling the pressure, and possibly high cancellation rates as there are some reports of cardholders receiving retention offers of $400 statement credit with no spend required. It's always worth calling your retention before canceling the card. So if you're considering canceling the card and you're paying the high $7.95 fee, give them a call. See if there's any retention offers. Just giving you a blanket $400 is kind of sick. That's even bringing the annual fee lower than what it originally was. Because wasn't it was it $395 originally? So maybe it's bringing it down to the same. Maybe it was $395. So I guess that makes sense. They're bringing it down to what you were paying before. And be like, okay, maybe you could just stick with the card for another year and see if it's worth it for you. Next, we had some pretty big drama with Mesa. Mesa was a credit card that was paying out points on mortgages and had some pretty good transfer partners with them. And I know a lot of people behind the scenes were going ham on this and getting a lot of points this way. But all of a sudden, December 12th, 2025, Mesa sent out an email to cardholders informing them that effective immediately, the Mesa card would be closing down. And they're saying that the card will be closed immediately. You must stop using your card. You must confirm recurring payments are updated, review your financial balance, and you're still responsible for making payments. And sorry for the inconvenience. Bye. So a lot of people were panicking with Dr. Credit comments saying, how do I use my points? I have a bunch of points that are sitting here. The app's not working. And it was a great post by a user in the comments that shared sort of a backdoor way to get your points to be redeemed. And then Dr. Credit's also amplified that and sharing it themselves to get the points out. And the Mesa came out and said that they're honoring the 0.6 cents per point as statement credits. So they're just going to redeem them all automatically, which is a lot better than Ness did. So if you remember back, I talked about that in episode 34. But Ness basically just shut down and said, oops, sorry, all your points are gonzo, bye-bye. So I decided to file a CFPB report, and I actually emailed customer service and was like, hey, I have points left. Can I redeem them? They're like, yes, you can redeem them as statement credit, which then brought my statement into the negative, and I thought it would be issued a check. And I went through CFPB complaint, emailed them many times, and saying that they are not responsible for paying out. And they said to kick rocks, essentially. The email specifically says, as you're aware, the Bank of Missouri, an issuer of your Nestwell card, has taken over Servings of Nestwell credit card program. Encloses the check for a prorated refund of the annual membership fee, but how long you had the Nest card. We encourage you to negotiate this check within 90 days of receipt. This isn't the card that let me see if I can find the right email. Okay. So it's actually episode 30. In there, I have the CFPB update. And they closed my case. You said that we have completed a review of your concern involving the Bank of Missouri about a Nestwell credit card account. You indicated the bank did not provide you with a $150 statement credit upon redeeming your rewards points. After FDIC's request, the bank provided you with a response dated February 5th, 2024. A copy of that response was also sent to the FDIC, along with any supporting documentation necessary to complete an independent review into the matter. And I wrote down, I did not receive any communication address on document from the FDIC is an old address that I had, so they never actually mailed it to me. Banks may establish loan policies and procedures provided such policies do not conflict with existing banking and consumer protection laws. CFPB does not dictate the specific terms and conditions of credit card offered by a bank to the individual borrowers. The terms are contained in the note or contract and generally governed by the state law. While the FDIC regulates federal consumer protection laws, it does not intervene with contractual matters between banks and borrowers. So they just told me to kick rocks. I think there's another update. Let me go see if I can find it. Aha, here it is. Next episode 53. I have a screenshot of the letter the Bank of Missouri sent me. They said, this complaint pertains to the Nestwell account in the name of blank issued by the Bank of Missouri and serviced by Ness. In your complaint, you state that you redeemed rewards points before the specific date and have not received the $150 statement credit. Due to Ness's unforeseen closure, your rewards points are no longer available and any scheduled redemptions will not be fulfilled. This applies to all points attempting to be redeemed after November 14th and is based upon Nestwell ceasing business operations. Please refer to the rewards program terms and conditions for additional information related to the cancellation of the points awarded. We trust that the explanation noted above should address your concerns. If you have any additional questions regarding your account, you may contact the Bank of Missouri directly and the number is provided. Didn't even sign who did it. They just said, thank you, period. No name. And I remember finding that funny. So yeah, they just told me to kick rocks. But Mesa is at least handling it much better, in my opinion. They did pay out the terms. They did pay out on people's rewards and made people whole on them, even at 0.6 points. But sure as hell better than none, which is what I got with Ness. So at least some people can do it the right way. And the reason why I draw this parallel is because Ness also sent an email saying, hey, you must cease using the account immediately right now. Sorry, we are no longer a card that's offering anything. So exactly the same way that Mesa went down, Ness went down, but Ness did it a good way Mesa did it a good way and didn't just fork over their customers and make you lose all your points. Next, another huge shout out to Cleed, but Cleed shared that there's another way to get high quality credit card images, and it's a lot easier than having a Mac with Touch ID. All it requires is you to have a Google account. So Cleed shared that you can go to wallet.google.com and you can add your card to your Google Wallet there. Normally wait like 24 hours, and then a card image will appear for your card, and with the same exact ones that are in Apple Wallet, but you don't have to do some weird hacky stuff on a computer and go to some hidden files to go get it. All you do is you click on the payment method and then you right click and save image and then you send it to good old Fear the Z and I can put it on the site. So huge kudos to him. I hope that anybody who has a card, definitely go check out my card designs and see if your card is there, because as far as I'm aware, my collection of card designs is the largest that's in existence, and I like keeping it as historical as well as it could be useful for apps out there that are trying to have card images. So definitely take a look and send me any that you don't have. Now it's an easier way to submit them. And you can just either message me on Reddit or email them to me at churnersdigest@gmail.com or reach out to me in Discord or really anything. Just try and send it to me in a way that doesn't compress the image because I'm trying to get as high quality of an image as possible. Next, we're on to a clown of a bank, U.S. Bank. They are ending their Smartly Shopping Deals program. This is specifically for a shopping portal rather than the card-linked offers that Dr. Credit was originally talking about, but it's still a negative change. Like, they had a shopping portal, and now they're taking it away, just like they've taken just about damn everything away. And additionally, U.S. Bank announced that they're making some negative changes to the Bank Altitude Reserve's transfer partners, and that was supposed to go live on December 15th, and it just didn't go live on December 15th. So they just continue to, like, you know that meme where some guy's riding a bike and then he takes a like a pole and sticks it through his own tire? That feels like that's what U.S. Bank's doing. Next, this didn't age well. Rose Miles up to 5,000. Oh wait, no, this is specifically for after Mesa shut down. Rose Miles giving 5,000 free points for Mesa card holders as like, hey, we know Mesa wasn't supposed to shut down, but now you can get your Rove Miles. They will match your Mesa balance at 1-to-1 and up to 5,000 Rove Miles. So nice. Limited to the first 2 million miles that are redeemed. So might be over by now because this was posted on December 17th. But hey, see if it's still there. Next, in FNBL world, a bank that doesn't get talked about much, but I like them a lot. They have a great app. Like, I think it's built on React, and it's just super basic. It's like just a really good, basic, modern banking app. Good job, FNBO. Multiple readers of Dr. Credit reported that FNBO has added a new rule where you can't open a new card within 18 months of opening your last card. It appears this new policy went into effect in September, and it's unclear if it applies to all cards or just FNBO Amtrak cards, and if it applies across products. Example, does it get a regular FNB card excluded? Does getting a regular FNB card exclude you from getting an Amtrak card for 18 months? So just something to know. And Dr. Credit has a long list of things to know about FNBO, which I really didn't know they had this. There isn't much to know. It's not that big of a issuer. Additionally, for FNBO, I've been recently cycling the heck out of my Evergreen card, FNBO Evergreen. It's a 1.5% cash back card. I opened the card in 2023, and I just got it for the sign-on bonus back then, and just the card kind of kicked around in my sock drawer. I was using it as like a business card for a little bit because I didn't use it for anything, and I was like, oh, let me keep my business spend on one card. And I was using that, and then I opened up my American Express Hilton business card, so I used that as my business card. So this card just again started kicking rocks, and then I found a use for it because it has a high credit limit of 19,000, and I've just been cycling it every month, and they don't seem to really mind too much, to the point where I cycled it for like 2 months straight, and I received a letter saying, hey, because you've been such a good partner and user of your balance, we're increasing your total available credit to $25,500. So more limit for me to cycle, I guess. Thanks, FNBO. Moving over to Built World. Built 2.0 will include earning points on all mortgage payments, card transition details, 524, and more. Dutch Credit made an update. I think I already read this prior to this update, so I'm going to read the whole thing, but this update was from December 27th. New cards will be revealed on January 14th, and your pre-order will open then. You'll be able to seamlessly upgrade to the cards. Some rumored upcoming changes are discussed in this post, which is my next show note. Rumored details about the upcoming Built card lineup. There's an interesting Reddit rumor based on a source about some of the details for the upcoming Built card. As a reminder, in January, February of 2026, Built will be releasing info and launching 3 new cards, one with no annual fee, one with a $95 annual fee, one with $4.95 annual fee. And some of the initial rumors are as follows. Initial offerings will be competitive. The premium card will have a sign-up bonus, and the no annual fee card will not. Next, no annual fee card will have worse earning unless you have Built status, and will be heavily nerfed version of the current card. Interesting. Earnings on mortgage will be entirely PITI, principal, interest, tax, insurance, as opposed to just principal and interest, which is nice. Points earning on mortgage/rent will drop to 0.5 cents per dollar for no annual fee card, which that makes sense. That's probably the big loss leader. And minimum transaction count for points earning to switch to minimum amount of non-rent spend. Interesting. We'll have to wait and see what that spend requirement is. Some people like putting regular spend on the built card due to the value of the points, though it's always a pain to have another thing to worry about each month. This will also make it harder for those who want to meet the minimum to get points on rent mortgage. I am considering buying a home coming up here. I've been renting for a long time, and it's about time. So if I do buy a home, maybe I'll get this new built card. Next, in Built World, they also add a Spirit Airlines as transfer partner for one-to-one transfer. Probably not the most value points partner, but maybe useful for some in some circumstances. Just a reminder, before transferring, the Spirit points expire after 12 months of inactivity. And then finally, I saw a post on our Reddit from user Parts Unknown saying, discuss, Carlos and Built, is this actually going to work? Carlos most recently raised $60 million total VC funding of $170 million. They have 50 to 100 employees and $15 million in annualized revenue. That $15 million is interpolated from Q2 2025. So that's an average $1.25 million in revenue on Alibaba, Avianca, Qatar, Tap, Latam cards per month combined, excluding the cardless card or the Coinbase card, but that's fine. That's a new card and probably doesn't get a lot of points or a lot of revenue. I think some of you do about 1.25 million in revenue per month on your own. The Wall Street Journal report claimed Wells Fargo was losing $10 million per month on Built cards. Built states that they have less than 800,000 credit card holders. Explain how does this math work? Some comments include the credit card issuer's revenue is not the spend on the card, but a portion of the fees charged to the merchant's annual fees, interest, and cash advance fees. Correct. The no annual fee card is going to be nerfed, probably heavily. While it's possible that cardless may lose money on the item, on them, I suspect that they will learn from Wells Fargo's mistake. And that's what I agree to. I think Wells Fargo started with this and realized that they're opening a can of worms that they really don't want to be involved in. And a player like Cardless, I think, is kind of perfect for this, where they're a newcomer, they have something to prove, they have heart, they have modern infrastructure, and they understand how the credit card game works, at least for like the gamers, because Carlos is new issuer. They don't have like all these legacy boomers that are using the cards that don't use them in the way that like millennials and Gen Z people do, where they use it just for benefits. They min-max it because they're smart and they're just used to the complication of it all. So I think it'll go well for them, but I guess we'll see what happens. All right, moving on to deals. Let's see if this is still around. There's a Groupon deal for Costco membership. Get a Costco membership and get a $40 or $60 shop card, which has expired, unfortunately, but these pop up occasionally, so keep your eyes open. Let's just mark this as expired. Yep. Okay. Next, there's Lightning Deal, which is expired, and as I talked about, the Robinhood holiday deals. Next, there's an offer for Chase offers. Where am I? Where you can check out with Pays for $100 and get $50 back, and you get $5 for activating. And Dr. Credit reported that some major retailers that use Pays include Newegg, and people are getting the $50 credit by buying a gift card on Newegg. So if you have a Chase offer, you can try getting a gift card for half off. Additionally to Newegg, I thought there was another site that uses Newegg. Newegg and United are the two large retailers who accept Pays, so maybe you can get some good value there. All right, moving on to bonuses. I think Peak reported this to me, but I also saw it on Dr. Credit. Metro Credit Union is doing a $400, $500 checking bonus. This is for Massachusetts and Southern New Hampshire only. I applied, but unfortunately they denied me. I did open the card a long time ago and have an old DP for this back in September 11th of 2022 that I saw a in-person like flyer at a local town fair that was promoting a $300 Visa rewards card for signing up for the account and doing one direct deposit and one debit card transaction. I'm guessing that because I've opened an account with them before they've closed, they aren't offering me a new one, but hey, if you live in the area, go for it. Next, it looks like OKC, which is like a crypto exchange, is doing a partnership with Doctor of Credit where they're giving a unique bonus specifically for Dr. Credit listeners that click the link on their page. Originally, it was giving deposit $200 and get $200 in Bitcoin, and then you can also deposit 10,000 and maintain it for 30 days and get another 200. So I went and signed up and I did this, deposited 200, and within like an hour, I was given $200 in Bitcoin. They've since changed from giving you Bitcoin to USDG stablecoin instead. And you must keep the funds in there, I believe, for 30 days. So all I'm going to do is keep it in there, and after 30 days, withdraw it. It's a pretty good bonus, pretty easy, pretty minimal risk. I mean, I've been bit in the past with crypto exchanges, but it's only $200, so it's not horrible. And doubling your return is pretty good value reward in my mind. Next, there's a Raise Save Better offer, which specifically is through Top Cash Back. So you can get $250 for opening up a Raise account, and Raise also has varying bonuses on top of the Top Cash Back. So the Top Cash Back is just get $250 by opening an account. Let me make sure it's still that. It is still $250. Become a new account member and deposit a minimum of $10,000. And with that, Raise is also offering a new customer bonus where you can deposit $10,000 to $25,000 to get $75, $25,000 to $50,000 to get $250, $50,000 to $100,000 to get $500, and then $100,000 more to get $1,000. So if you did the lowest one of just $10,000, you'd get $325 for depositing $10,000 and keeping it there for, I think you need to keep it there for 90 days. Let me see. Yes, you must maintain the minimum deposit amount for at least 90 days, and then 30 days after that, they'll give you your bonus. So I haven't gone for this. It's the new year. Maybe I'll go for it. I'm being a little lazy. The final two bonuses are from Capital One. There's two different ones. There's a $250 and a $300 checking bonus. The $250 requires you to do 20 qualifying transactions of $10 or more within 75 days of opening the account on the debit card. And then the other offering is a $300 bonus where you do at least 2 direct deposits of $500 or more within 75 days. So if you can get a direct deposit into Capital One, checking to see what qualifies now, that might be easier. But for debit cards, it's super easy. You can just like do Amazon reloads or something. I haven't validated that worked, but it seems probably would. Capital One 360 counts a lot as direct deposit. They're kind of just like yes to everything. Ally counts, Chase counts, Fidelity counts, PayPal counts. So I would probably say it looks like maybe Ally doesn't work. Someone also reported it doesn't work, but a lot of people reported it does. So your mileage may vary. But I would just go for the 300 if you're eligible. And you couldn't have had a Capital One checking account starting, I think, January 1st of 2024. So if you had one dated closer to now than that, then you won't be eligible. Next, bunch of class actions. There's a Google Play class action settlement for $630 million. There's no link out for that. The majority of claimants and payees will be made automatically, so that's good to know. Next, Oatly denied my claim. Oatly is doing there's a class action against Oatly, like the Oat brand, for people that own their shares. I received a letter in the mail that said I didn't supply substantial proof for my holdings, and I waited to the last day to submit my proof. So I called Bank of America and asked them to find like statements proving that I had assets, and I reattached them, and I also like created a spreadsheet to show the different assets I had. I feel like I'm doing the law firm's job. Like, isn't that what you're supposed to do? If I submit you this stuff, why am I sitting here? Aren't you representing me? Whatever. I submitted those. Hopefully they pay out. And then I received a email for Fortra data breach litigation settlement for payment of $20.04 discussed in episode 61. This one's for like data breach through some online health services like Elevance Health, Fortra Health, IntelliHearts for just leaking your data. Great. Back in January 30th of 2024 for file transfer services. So I'll get $20 out of it. Cool. And then down to the other category, Klarna launched a premium and max memberships. So the premium is $20 a month and gives you 1.5% cash back every you use your Klarna balance. Also, subscription to any of the following, including audiobooks, Blinkist, and some other things, or ClassPass, and a 16-gram metal card. And then Max is $45 per month. These are per month. Damn. 2% cash back ever using your Klarna balance. A 16-gram rose gold card. Unlimited airport lounges worldwide via KeyPass.
our lounge key pass, and then also subscriptions including A Small World, audiobooks, New York Times. Okay, cool. Didn't realize it, but apparently Klarna is a flexible currency as well, with transfers to Air France, KLM, and a bunch of other places. Not sure if the rate is 1-to-1 or not. These membership tiers don't look that enticing. Updated transfer partner rates are KLM, BA, Finnair are 1 to 0.71. SAS is 1 to 1.1, and then Accor is 1 to 4.1 to 0.48. Cool, I guess. I don't really see what the use for that is. Maybe there's some like weird plays you can do with your Klarna balance. And maybe if it like codes as a debit card, maybe I think I remember Cleed getting one of these cards, but I doubt he's paying $20 or $45 a month for it. Next, JP Morgan, there was an interesting post on our Reddit, on our credit cards, of the progression of the JP Morgan Reserve card. And this user has had the card in 2019, 2022, and 2023. And it's just cool seeing this card. Like, I mean, it looks like all other like premium cards nowadays. It's metal with like a embossed, engraved signature in it. I think the original one is the nicest. It has the card numbers on the front, but I kind of just like the look of it. This person apparently uses the hell out of this card. And I think you have to have like, I don't remember how much money you need to have with this card, but it's like a private client, an offer only. So kudos to them. Next, some American Express notes for me. I was able to use my Platinum Resi credit. So I'm realizing now that when I go to restaurants, I need to like check and see if the restaurant's on Resi so I can just use the card. And I wasn't sure how it was going to work. All you have to do is just swipe your American Express Platinum card and you'll get a Resi credit automatically. It's kind of cool. They probably have like a list of merchant descriptions that come through that if you make a purchase at one, you get your credit. So I had a $90 meal by myself for free, which was nice. Also, I'm trying to use my Hilton Aspire credit. I booked a stay at a resort that's included in the resorts for the Hilton Aspire card, the Hilton Sedona Resort. And I didn't make the purchase on the card, I don't think. I think I purchased it with points. Yeah, I got it with points. And I wanted to upgrade the room, so I called to upgrade the room. They told me to upgrade it. It's like $150 a night, and I'm there for 3 nights. So that's, what's that? $450. And I was like, oh, cool. It's the end of this year. I'll charge $200 to it, get the credit for the resort credit, and then I'll do it again this year. So I called the front desk, had them do it for me. They sent me a payment link, made the payment. I haven't seen the credit yet. This is like a month ago. So I might have to call American Express support and get it honored because I'm not doing anything hacky. I am making a valid purchase at the resort. I don't know why it's not crediting. The stay at the resort is after the annual fee is required for this card, so not sure what I'm going to do just yet with it. I think I get status with my American Express Hilton Business card, so maybe I'll downgrade the Hilton Aspire and then keep the Hilton Business to keep. I think I get Diamond with that, or maybe the one below it. I don't know. We'll see. Next. American Airlines is no longer letting basic economy flyers earn miles. Great. Thanks, American. Another poorly regulated industry. Next, I found a reference to this comment. I don't really know where, honestly. But it's a comment on the SoFi money matching all roundups to 50 cents in match comment section. This is specifically a post that was for SoFi Money where you can make a purchase and they'll round up your purchases to the nearest dollar, up to $50. And someone went and made PayPal subscriptions that are for 1 cent. So you can sign up for this and there's a few options. Option 1 is 10 transactions at 1 cent per transaction for 5 days. There's another one that's 5 1 cent transactions per day for 10 days. And they still work, allegedly. So I figured I'd give a link to that if you find any use in that. Don't know what your use case could be, but hey, I'm not the judge. Next, CFPB allocates $46 million to Synapse Evolve victims in first ever fintech bailout. So this is, again, with our boy Jason Mikula, who runs Fintech Business Weekly. I haven't talked about this in a while, but I was covering the Synapse Evolve Juno fallout a little while ago. And originally, the CFPB was saying that they don't have jurisdiction here because it wasn't a bank that failed. It was the intermediary between the bank and the fintech, which was specifically Synapse. And the CFPB came out and is, in fact, issuing a bailout for the company. Curses came early for victims of the Synapse Evolve catastrophe. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau quietly updated its website to reflect that its civil penalty fund has allocated $46,248,291 towards making end users whole. The news is first reported by Bloomberg Law Evidence Evan Weinberg last Thursday. So this is, from my understanding, the first time this has ever happened for a bailout that's not a bank. So great for customers who are getting made whole, but it's sad that the banking industry is held up by the American people's back, because it's our taxes that are keeping it afloat because of gross negligence, if you ask me. Next, I'm applying for some loans for buying a condo. I talked to Tequila Tsunami. Thanks for taking some time to chat with me and talk about what I should be looking out for when applying for mortgages. And they commented that the bank statements that I'm applying for these loans with should be kind of clean. And they are definitely not clean. I have a lot of money coming in and out of my Wealthfront account, which is where a lot of my funds are, and my direct deposit goes. So hopefully I can weasel my way out of an explanation there. But I am a bit nervous about it, to be honest. I found a place that I want to purchase, and now I just got to hope that I'm able to purchase it because of my clandestine money move activities. All right, now to our year-end discussion. First off, I'll start with something that wasn't necessarily meant for this, but I'll talk about it anyway. A CVS Care Pass. I had an episode about CVS Care Pass. I think it was like a few episodes ago. Just talking about the value I get out of it. So my year-to-date savings with CVS Care Pass is $713 for a measly little like $40 a year subscription, because if you buy it for a full year, I think they give you like 20% off. Definitely worth it, in my opinion. Yes, their prices are inflated, but they're not inflated $700 worth, if you ask me. Also, I was reminded by Bleak Choo Choo that back in 2022 during COVID, they sent out like a little care package, which was specifically for CVS Care Pass members. And they were like, hey, here's a survey. Let us know if you like little gifts like this. I never saw another one again, so I guess they didn't get enough feedback on the survey, but I thought it was cool. They gave me like some chapsticks, some toothpaste, some floss, some heat wrap stuff, some first aid kit, some Band-Aids. It was nice. All right, now for the juicy stuff. 2025 churning review. No, I don't share any of this to brag. I don't share any of it to, I don't really know, to like shove in your face. I just like being transparent. I am a personality on the internet that yaps into a microphone, and I appreciate everyone who listens, and I want to give back what I can. And that includes my summaries of how my year of churning has gone. This year, the year of churning changed very drastically. If you look at the show notes, there's a table there, and there's also a nice little bar chart that I created breaking down all of my earnings from churning. And then I'll also go down to my earnings for the podcast and Patreon and what have you. But I'm not going to talk about anything sensitive here, but I will just high level talk about things. So in terms of bank account sign-on bonuses, this year was kind of up there in terms of my best years that I've had. This year was $5,695 in bank account sign-on bonuses. In the past, my highest has been, 25, 24, 23, 22. 2022, I had $6,160 in bank account sign-on bonuses. The biggest this year, let's see if I can find it, I'm pretty sure is Unibank. That was a pretty juicy one. That was $750. That paid out in August. That was definitely my biggest of the year. Oh, no, actually, my biggest was Wells Fargo at $825 for the business bonus. But that one required $25,000 of hold for 30 days. So something as I'm noticing trends this year are I'm getting bigger bonuses than in the past. I think in the past I might have done more, but smaller ones, and they're definitely bigger this year. In terms of credit card sign-on bonuses, this is my biggest year, which is quite surprising, honestly. I think part of it is because I did the American Express Platinum, which I counted as a $2,000 sign-on bonus because it was I think it was 175,000 points. And I also don't know why I valued it at 2,000. I think I got a $300 or $250 retention bonus to keep the card. So it went up to 3,000. I also got $375 referrals for that card, which is close to my total referrals for the year. Wait a minute. Why do I not have credit card referrals in this screenshot? Hold on. All right, I'm back. My numbers are not wrong. I opened up the plat in 2024, not 2025. Hence why 2025 does not have credit card referrals, which it doesn't have any. I think I'm thinking of the $300 retention bonus that I got in 2025 for the platinum. So actually, what I got in 2025 in terms of sign-on bonuses are Hilton Aspire, which I valued at $800. I got the Navy Federal Credit Union flagship rewards for $700 because I think it was 400 or six. It was like 500 for opening the card, and then 200 for opening a relationship. $225 for Shop Your Way, $160 for J. Crew because I purchased a gift for my dad. I got a really nice deal on something. $600 for the Hilton Business, $800 for the Alaska Summit card, which I still haven't used those points, so they're sitting in the account, and $300 for the Barclay You Promise card. So pretty good year for credit card bonuses. Bank referrals, I only got some, only 525. I don't even know what that's for. Let's see if I can find it. Referral, got 100 for Current, thank you. I got 50 for Langley. I think Cleve got that. And 375 for Gemini. So I posted my Gemini link on Dr. Credit. I was the first one to post it. So I think it was 75 each. So I got, was that 5 or 6? I think 6. Yeah, 6 users to use it. So thank you very much. Next, we're getting into what really changed this year is debit rewards. If you're part of any private Discord community, you've probably heard about different various ways of getting debit rewards. And yes, I did have some pretty great years with debit rewards in terms of cash back. So that really changes the game for churning for me. Now, some people might look at this and be shocked by the amount. I am also shocked by it. There were weeks where this was happening and I couldn't believe it. I still don't really believe it. Like, I think the numbers are wrong, but they're not. I've manually tracked everything. Some people might think, why is it even worth it to do bank account sign-on bonuses? And I think that's because these debit plays don't last a while. Like the really big ones that I had that got me these huge numbers, they are no longer around. And that's a reason why people don't talk about them, right? Because the more people that do it, the more that whatever company you're using to get these rewards, like the place where you're making the purchase, they are losing out, wherever that is. So if I swipe a card at any merchant, that merchant is paying a fee for my transaction. And if I'm getting cash back, they are making the fee. They are paying the fee. They are paying for that cash back. So they're going to want to stop the bleeding at some point. And normally they get their holes plugged. The bleeding stops. So that's why these things are kept quiet, right? Because if you spread it, then no one's going to be able to do it because it won't be around anymore because it's just bleeding money. That's why I don't talk about it on the podcast. That's why no one talks about it on the podcast. But I think saying I made money with debit rewards is not a crazy thing to say, and I think I can put that on a podcast. I don't think I'll have pitchforks, but we'll see. You never know. MS rewards, that's new. I started tracking separately just straight manufacturer spend on my credit cards and getting rewards for those transactions, and that's been $2,000 this year, which is pretty great. So the grand total for this year is $82,667.79. Hence why I'm in the position to be purchasing a condo. That's a joke, but it is super nice to see this. Yeah, that's the year for churning for me. Also, there's a nice little bar chart here. You can see the progression. Basically, every year I've increased it, and this has been the largest increase. If you look at the bar chart for the numbers that don't include debit rewards, they pretty much remain the same, right? They're normally around $10,000 a year, which is normally what I say is achievable. For people that are obsessed like me, I'd say for normal people, it's probably a little bit less, but it's nice little pocket change. It helps. All right, going on to the 2025 podcast review. Again, I don't see these numbers to brag. I'm just being transparent with people that support me in the podcast, support me on the Patreon. I'm very humbled and honored to have supporters like y'all. We have a total of 161 Patreon members that, to be honest, keep the podcast going. So thank you very much. Thank you all for your contributions. Total earnings are close to 4,500 for the year. I'm like hesitant to say these numbers because I don't want to brag. I don't want to like shove in people's faces. I just think it's interesting to look back at, see how much was made and what the podcast actually does. Like what my time is turned into in terms of value. I can't give you an exact estimate how much time I spend in a week doing podcast related stuff. Like I run the Discord, I send lightning deals, I religiously refresh our credit cards, our churning. I read through various Discord communities, which I don't share a lot of things publicly, but some things that I do share publicly that aren't like delicate plays. But I spend anywhere from like 5 to 10 hours a week on the podcast. And then I spend 2 to 3 hours a month actually recording it and publishing it. There's also some fees that get incurred with the podcast. I pay a contractor to put the show notes on. I host the website. So various stuff like that is behind the scenes stuff. In terms of audience members, audience tiers, we have 59 $1 small balance waivers. We have 2 $1.99 small balance waivers. We have 54 Discord members. I always say that Discord's on the smaller side, which I personally like. Like I kind of recognize all the names. I know who's there. It's a nice community. I try not to have any pitchforks come out and nobody lampooning anybody. It's a very friendly community. We're all super open and just chat. 9 Plead tier members. Thank you all very much. You get shouted out every episode. Y'all are really kind, and so are the Discord members, and so are everybody. We have 153 monthly subscribers and 8 annual members. So I don't plan on stopping the podcast anytime soon. If you want to become an annual member, you get a 10% discount. So it's always an option. Moving on to podcast Spotify metrics. Throughout the year, we had almost 7,000 plays. We have over almost 2,000 consumed hours of the podcast, and we gained 102 followers. In terms of across all platforms, almost 50,000 streams and downloads. On average, around 900 streams or downloads per episode. The more recent episodes are doing better. So the top 3 episodes are 53, 50, 48, 63, and 47 in that order. It looks like I peaked at around like 50. That 53 is high because I issued a redactment there, which republished the podcast because I edited sections of it and it brought it to people's feed again. So people listened to it again. So it caused repeat listeners. And we also see that reflected in the top website pages that were visited. So the top one is episode 53, a redaction at 246 clicks. And that makes sense because I shared it in a few communities and wanted people to see it. So I put it out there. So I guess naturally progressing over to website stats. And one more thing on episodes. We get around probably 1,200 listeners per episode, but overall average includes the original episodes, which were much lower. So I guess that makes sense. And I think episode 48 was the Churning for Dummies episode, which took more effort than a normal episode does because it's not just like an aggregation of things. It's me planning out and creating an episode specifically on one topic. So it's good to know that had some good reception. Website stats, we had 5,300 views, 2,700 visitors. So it looks like most visitors visit 2 pages when they come. We've had 2 likes and 2 comments on the website. So if you want to get on there and comment and like, go right ahead. It's free reign. No one's really in there. Most visited pages are card designs at almost 900, Turner's Digest, which is like the big list of all the episodes, at 545, homepage at 536. I assume most people go homepage and then Turner's Digest. Episode 53 again is the most visited episode, and then episode 64 is the second most visited. Overall, I wrote 18,100 words in this year on all across my blog posts on fearthez.com. Most popular day for people to visit the site is a Friday. The best hour for people to visit is 10 p.m. And the most popular day was March 17th, which, again, you'll see a pattern here. That was the redaction day. Learned a lot in 2025 and very grateful for all of you. I shared on Patreon. I shared a happy holidays message and Happy New Year message, and I echo that to all listeners. Thank you very much for listening. I like doing this, and I appreciate you all listening, so thanks for listening to me yap for going on 68 episodes now, and next one's episode 69. Nice. So we'll start off the new year with a nice kick with this one and keep it rolling. Let's hope that 2026 keeps our turns positive and our shutdowns to a minimum. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Happy 2026.